Hey vape fans, welcome to another episode of Mount Baker Vapor's video tutorial series. My name is Preston, and like the title says, we are going to be talking about Cartomizers. And if you don't know what a Cartomizer is, then click the link on the screen and that'll take you to our previous video where it's all about the introduction of Cartomizers. Just as a reminder, there are two ways to use a Cartomizer, with a tank or as a standalone device. Using a Cartomizer as a standalone device is fairly simple. Once you have filled it using the condom method, the only maintenance you have to worry about is keeping the polyfill around the coil saturated. To do that, I would suggest dripping about every 10 to 15 vapes, or when you start to taste a change in your flavor. Remove the tip or the silicone piece at the top of the Cartomizer and place a couple drops along the polyfill surrounding the coil. If you happen to add too much juice, it's no worry. Simply grab a paper towel and place a 510 connector into the paper towel and blow into it until the excess juice comes out. Now that the Cartomizer is primed and the polyfill is saturated, you're ready to take a vape. Another option, for those who don't want to drip into their standalone Cartomizer several times a day, you can use a Cartomizer tank. Using a Cartomizer tank is very simple. There are a couple options for the type of Cartomizer you can use. On our site, we carry unpunched and pre-punched 1- or 2-hole Cartomizers. Each have their own benefit. If you're interested in buying a Cartomizer and placing it straight into your tank, then the pre-punch is the way to go. Depending on how thick your juice is, you'll need to decide whether a 1-punched or 2-punched Cartomizer is right for you. Generally, to avoid dry hits, I run a 50-50 PG-VG blend with a 2-hole punch Cartomizer, but it's going to take a little trial and error to find the perfect vape. If you'd like a little bit more control as to the size and number of holes in your Cartomizer, then buying an unpunched one is the way to go. Now, I have a Cartopunch here that we sell on the site, and I will show you how to go about punching your unpunched Cartomizer. You will want to position the Cartopunch in a place where your O-rings aren't going to cover them up. A little less than halfway up from the bottom should be sufficient for most Cartomizer tanks. Once you know where you're going to punch your holes, just start turning the screw. There will be some pressure and it will take a little elbow grease. But once you feel the screw penetrate the Cartomizer tube, you should have a small hole for the E-juice to fit through. If you're punching 2 or more holes, you will just want to repeat the process, but do be sure to keep the holes evenly spaced. Now that we have our Cartomizers punched, I will show you how to insert them into a tank. There are many different types of Cartomizer tanks, but they all operate pretty much the same. We have a Surric tank here, which we will have on our site soon, and all it is 2 end caps fit into a glass or plastic tank. I like to take the top end cap off and slide the Cartomizer up through the bottom one, and push the Cartomizer up until only the 510 is exposed. With the Cartomizer installed, you can fill the tank from the top. Once you fill the tank, put the cap back on and add your drip tip. Sometimes when you have a new Cartomizer tank, the O-rings are rigid and can be difficult to push on the top or the bottom end caps. This should go away after the O-rings are worn in or covered in juice. A Cartomizer will last anywhere from 1 week to a month depending on how much you vape, the darkness of your juice, and the Cartomizer itself. When it's time to change out your Cartomizer, you will know because of the flavor of your vape. When this time comes, get a new Cartomizer and prime it using the condom method. Place your Cartomizer on a table with the 510 connection down. Grab your Cartomizer tank and place the 510 connection of your old Cartomizer in the top opening of your new one, without the silicone cap. Being sure to hold the end caps in place, start pushing your tank down slowly. And now that the tank is installed and the Cartomizer is primed, you're ready to take a vape. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Thank you again and have a wonderful vape.